In this video, I'm going to go over 3 major tips on how you can pick the right realtor for you when purchasing a home. Now, you want to stick around to the very end because the last tip is actually the most important. And it's important because it can help you save tens of thousands of dollars very easily. And I'll actually even give you an example of how I saved the client over $100,000. Plus, as a buyer, you're not the one having to pay the realtor's commission. So this is completely free service to you that can actually help you save just an insane amount of money. The first tip I have for you is to get a very motivated realtor. A motivated realtor, they're gonna show you more homes, give you more options, and spend more time with you. And the more options you get, the better your decision can be because you can find out more about other homes and figure out which one actually fits into your criteria and your lifestyle a lot better. Now, more often than not, I'll actually find a lot of buyers who use part-time agents. Now, it's kind of obvious, right? As a part-time agent or part-time realtor, nothing against them by no means, but when you're making one of the largest transactions of your life, now you might buy more homes in the future, but overall, wouldn't you want a realtor who's gonna be able to give you more time and any time, not just part-time, right? More time you have, the better. More is always gonna be beneficial to you. The second tip that I have for you guys is get yourself an agent that is actually knowledgeable about the area you want to buy in, whether it's a neighborhood or a city. Now, I know that sounds so obvious. However, as a realtor myself, I've heard this story time and time again from countless number of people that the clients know more than the agent. Guys, that is an incredibly big red flag. I mean, the clients know more than the agent. It's our job to know as much as we possibly can. Now, that's not to say, there's some questions here and there. There's so many excuses, so on and so forth, whether it's a new build community or X, Y, and Z. Don't let any of those excuses be the reason why you don't save tens of thousands of dollars because your real estate agent wasn't knowledgeable. Now, what I mean by that is, do they know the comps around the area? Is the home over or undervalued, or is it the right price? This can help you negotiate down the road when you're trying to purchase that home, whether it's in a new build community or whether it's been established, so on and so forth. Now, that's just surface level questions. You should be able to ask your realtor a lot of things that you're curious about, and they should know the answers to majority of them. Not 100%, but majority of them. And you better believe, as a realtor myself, if you have questions, I should be able to, again, answer majority of them long before we see the house, because you're gonna tell me what you want, you're gonna tell me all these criterias, and I'm gonna do all my research beforehand of showing you those homes, so when we get to those houses, I can answer all the questions you guys have. Now, again, that seems kind of obvious, but I promise you, I've heard this story so many times where the clients know more than the real estate agent. The last and final tip number 3, is the most overlooked trait I've seen from buyers when they don't vet their realtors. Now, this is gonna sound the most obvious as well because it's costing them tens of thousands of dollars, not just a couple hundred, but literally tens of thousands of dollars. Now, if you can guess what it is, comment down below, but here it is. Get yourself an agent who's gonna fight for you. Now, again, sounds so obvious. Every real estate agent, every realtor here in Utah are gonna tell you that. Honestly, every realtor in the country are gonna tell you that. But this is how you vet them to make sure they're actually going to fight for you, because you're gonna be looking for an aggressive negotiator. Now, that has a little bit of a negative connotation because an aggressive negotiator kind of sounds like a jerk, right? And you don't want to be working with a jerk, and you don't want to be represented by a jerk. But that's not what I mean by that. Now, let me explain. An aggressive negotiator, they're going to do a lot of different things that a normal realtor will do because they're motivated, they're fighting for you, and they want to save you a lot of money, because that is our job as your agents. When you're buying a home, our job is to save you as much money as you possibly can get for the house that you really want. Now, the way you do that is actually by understanding the other party, so that when you put in your offer, they're going to be more enticed to take it, even though it might actually be lower than a different offer. How do you go about doing that? Your agent should actually be calling around every single listing that they've shown you and preemptively talking to them about their situation. Now, nothing really with yours, it's just mainly their situation and understanding. Now, here's a quick story of what happened just a couple of weeks ago. Now, I have a buyer looking for a half-acre property. Now, you guys, in Utah, half-acre is gonna get incredibly expensive, especially if you're in Lehigh, American Fork, Sandy, Draper, just all over, right? Except for when you're farther away from the I-15. Now, these buyers were okay with living in Eagle Mountain, and I absolutely love that area because you can get a lot of land. I mean, and when I say land, I'm saying half an acre, guys. So if you're watching this outside of Utah or you're living in a more rural place of Utah, Utah land is pretty expensive. Not California, but it is pretty expensive. So again, talk about Eagle Mountain. So I called around a bunch of people that have their homes listed that fit into that criteria. And because I understood a lot more of what they're looking for, I was able to narrow down and show my buyers what we could potentially offer for these homes at what I recommend putting in an offer for. Now, because I've done that preemptively, I can answer, first of all, again, a lot of their questions that they may already have because I know more about the property than if an agent didn't call. Now, guys, I know I sound like a broken record when I say this all sounds so obvious, but this is always so overlooked when I talk to so many buyers. And this is incredibly important because we were able to potentially get in an offer for $150,000 under what the listing price was. And even that listing price was a very fair market price as well. And when I say potential, only reason is because the buyer unfortunately did not get the financing all done. And even though we put in the offer, they just weren't able to qualify due to their interest rates going a little bit higher. But again, this is a perfect case of how you can save tens and even over $100,000. Now, there are so many agents not doing this. And what is it costing you? A lot of money. What is it costing the real estate agent? Not much, because their commission comes from the seller's portion, not from you. So this is why it's incredibly important to find a real estate agent that fights for you aggressively to make sure you get the right price, because the cheaper you can buy the home, that's just more equity in your pocket. And again, do I really have to ask, guys? If you can save tens of thousands of dollars and sometimes over $100,000, wouldn't you want that? So these are the 3 major tips to making sure you find the right realtor for you. Guys, if you would want me to represent you when you're buying a home, all my contact information is down below. Plus, what I do differently than most agents around the country is I, first of all, pay for your movers, so your moving process is incredibly easy. Just pack up and then unpack. You don't need to be lifting heavy boxes or your furniture through your front door. Don't do that. Let the movers take care of it for you. And plus, you get to pick between an 86-inch TV, a brand new iMac, a MacBook Air, or an iPad Pro. So you pick one of those 4 options, and it's my housewarming gift to you. Now, like I said before, real estate agents are completely free for the buyers. They get paid by the sellers of the home. So you guys, if that all sounds good to you, comment down below. Actually, no, don't comment. Just give me a call or text, and I'd love to help you find that perfect house for you.